Hello again, everyone, and welcome. We have now entered the 5th month of the great coronavirus pandemic of 2020. And to say that life has changed as a result is truly a gross understatement. Nearly every facet of our existence has undergone significant modification of some kind. I don't know about you, but my world often bears little resemblance to what it was 6 months ago. Our daily routines have all been altered. Sleep cycles, meal times, work hours and conditions, everything has been affected. And sometimes in the midst of all this craziness, we are susceptible to a physical letdown, a sinking spell, or whatever else you would like to call it. And when that happens, we need to look for something, a spark of some kind, a pick-me-up, if you will, to help get back on track. That pick-me-up might be a chocolate chip cookie. It may be a piece of lemon icebox pie, which is my favorite, a cup of coffee, or one of those high-powered energy drinks. Or as my younger daughter used to like to do, she'd sit down and eat a Dr. Pepper and a bag of M&Ms in a single setting. Whatever your preference, that little boost in energy often provides the impetus to get us back on track, to finish that extremely important task, or to regain some lagging mental functionality. It keeps us going, so to speak, at least until the next time we need another shot in the arm. And you know that same remedy and process can also apply to other areas of life, like our spiritual health and well-being, for example. Let's face the facts, folks. Church is no longer the same. We cannot worship in person, at least not in the same way as we have become accustomed to doing. Masked, social distancing, no handshakes, certainly no hugs or singing, and no familiar communion service. We participate in services all online, all right, and while they are great and much appreciated, they often leave us wanting more of what we used to have. We are mired in a state of what I might call spiritual stagnation, a spiritual sinking spell, if you will. We often need a boost, a pick-me-up in that arena too. Fortunately for us, the Bible provides just such a remedy. It's called the 23rd Psalm. It was written by King David roughly 3,000 years ago. It is undoubtedly the best known and maybe the best loved chapter in the entire Old Testament. The author, under the leadership of the Lord, wrote just the right words to appeal to and to touch the hearts of virtually every man, woman, and child who reads it. Its impact has been and continues to be tremendous. The 19th century American preacher Henry Ward Beecher said this about the 23rd Psalm. It has charmed more griefs to rest than all the philosophy of the world. It has remanded to their dungeon more felonious thoughts, more black doubts, more thieving sorrows than there are sands on the seashore. It has comforted the noble host of the poor. It has sung courage to the army of the disappointed. It has poured balm and consolation into the heart of the sick, of captives in dungeons, of widows in their griefs, and of orphans in their loneliness. Dying soldiers have died easier as it was read to them. It has visited the prisoner, broken his chains, and like Peter's angel, led him forth in imagination and sung him back to his home again. It has consoled those whom dying he left behind mourning, not so much that he was gone, as because they were left behind and could not go too. For centuries now, millions of people the world over have memorized this particular passage, and it's perhaps the only scripture they ever memorized. Ministers have used it to comfort people who are going through severe personal trials, suffering from serious illnesses, or perhaps even dying. For some people, the words of this psalm were the last words they ever heard or uttered in this life. If you have at some point in your life memorized this psalm, it was probably from the King James Version, the one we're most familiar with. However, my favorite translation is the easy to read version. Its language is, I think, far more understandable. You know, the chapter, the 23rd Psalm, is only 6 verses long, so let me share it with you now. The Lord is my shepherd. I will always have everything I need. He gives me green pastures to lie in. He leads me by calm pools of water. He restores my strength. He leads me on right paths to show that he is good. Even if I walk through a valley as dark as the grave, I will not be afraid of any danger, because you are with me. Your rod and staff comfort me. You prepared a meal for me in front of my enemies. You welcome me as an honored guest. My cup is full and spilling over. Your goodness and mercy will be with me all my life, and I will live in the Lord's house a long, long time. You know, if you read those words carefully and think about them a little bit, you will find that they ultimately say that the Lord is constantly with us. He sustains us. He provides for us. He leads us through every sort of circumstances, whether it be a mountaintop experience or a trial that causes us to pass through the darkest of times. He is with us no matter what happens. He offers us blessings, not only for the present, but also for the future. You know, a lot is packed into those 6 verses. Psalm 23 is many times just the spiritual pick-me-up we need. We can read it and be assured. We can read it and be comforted. We can read it and be blessed. Until next time, be careful, be safe, and God bless you.